Phone companies primarily focus on making smartphones with some related accessories to the side.
But what happens when a non-phone company wants to make a smartphone? What happens when that company is mostly known for a toaster oven? Well, then you get this little guy, the Balmuda phone, a compact phone released back in 2021 that looked like nothing else in the market. 4 years later, is it still worth a look? Before that, a like and a sub would really help the channel grow. And we're really close to 4,000 subs now, so help me push it over the edge, okay? Alright, let's dive into the Balmuda phone. I mean, what does this phone look like to you? I've had people say that it looks like a bar of soap or a rock that's kind of been polished for years by a water stream. Well, it's kind of both, because Balmuda gave it a bulby plastic build. The back, it's having this gritty sandstone-like texture with the rims made from a more glossy polycarbonate. In the hand, it really does handle like a slippery bar of soap, thanks to those highly exaggerated curves, just reminding me of the Sony XZ2 and XZ3 series of phones from 2018. And yes, that sunken in power button placed at the same height as the camera, it is exactly as annoying as you think it is. I still constantly touch the camera by mistake, and the fingerprint sensor built into this button is pretty flaky as well. Really hate sweaty hands like mine. Oh, and that grill in between the two circular shapes here, that's the single speaker outputting a small tinny sound that often gets covered up because it's the back-facing speaker. Basically, the audio speaker here is bad. There's also a notification LED to the side as well. So I guess Balmuda wants you to sort of place this phone face down, so it's like non-distractive, I guess. Okay, how about the front side here? Well, you get a mix of old and new elements. You get a 4.9-inch IPS screen in the old school 16:9 aspect ratio, but it's got a hole punch camera like most modern phones. It is a decidedly mid-range display. You've got okay brightness, solid viewing angles, and color accuracy, but you know, it ain't no OLED. There's gonna be a bit of a shadow at the hole punch area. And even with this matte screen protector on, you can still see a sort of grid-like pattern on a white screen at certain angles. No high refresh rate here. It's just good old 60 Hz. But hey, that helps eke out a little bit more life from the tiny 2500 milliamp battery on here, despite the thick, bulgy back. Inside, you've got the venerable Snapdragon 765G, putting out alright performance. It's not exactly flying through tasks, but keeping up fairly well. And some light gaming is certainly possible. It's a confusing bag of specs for sure. Okay, that's the specs taken care of. What about the software? You'll probably be disappointed that this phone ships with Android 11 and it only got updated to 12. But it is a fairly customized skin. It builds upon the aesthetic of Balmuda's own products, and it tries to serve as a companion device for like cooking use that kind of ties together all of their appliances. The design language, it lands somewhere in between minimalist industrial and how I would describe as organized chaos, especially with the wallpapers, icons, and the home screen layouts. You've got two color stripes that are interactive, allowing you to swipe at them for configurable shortcuts. You can also edit the colors of said stripes, though the top one is always going to be some shade of gray, and the bottom one a more colorful accent. You don't have extra widgets for the Balmuda tools you see on display here, but it's actually considered modules that you can add as new home pages. These include a handy clock, which strangely only lets you have one alarm, a quick calculator that also does temperature conversions for cooking using the Balmuda appliances maybe, and currency conversions for buying all that Bermuda stuff. Here's another useful memo pad, and it is actually quite convenient when it's like placed up front like this. Pretty nice if you want to jot down a little recipe or just your random thoughts and ideas. Then you can send those memos to the Balmuda Notes app, which is managed kind of like a shelf where you can add text, images, videos, which can be freely moved around the different shelf levels, kind of like a mood board with sticky notes on them actually. This phone, it sets things up on a certain way, and it expects you to use it in that certain style. Now, I don't use my phone like this, probably you won't use your phone like this, but what I appreciate is that you are seeing somebody's phone setup that has been put into a commercial product, not just some like general one-size-fits-all software solution. Heck, it even comes with a shortcut for recipes created by the Balmuda kitchen team. Some of it looks quite delectable, with some prep work involved, of course, but then there are some incredibly simplistic recipes to the point that it's kind of amusing. Like this iced coffee here, so I'm gonna take you to the kitchen and we'll make this recipe.
Welcome to Binging with Lumerion, where today we'll be making Balmuda iced coffee. Now, the recipe calls for 12 grams of coffee powder, medium dark roast, medium fine grind, and some ice. But I want to embrace the simplicity of this recipe even further, so we're going to make this with bottled coffee. That means we can skip straight to presenting the dish. Add some ice cubes to the cup and pour the coffee in. There you go, a very elaborate and complex iced coffee. I totally feel like my cooking skills have been upgraded thanks to the Balmuda recipe.
Okay, so it's about 9 a.m. I just woke up, brushed my hair a little bit, but it's still kind of messy. Let's see if the Balmuda iced coffee is gonna successfully wake me up. Oh, yeah, Oh, no. Oh, that's so bitter. Tastes like dirt. You know what? I'm an avid soda drinker. I'm not a coffee drinker. I need something else. Yeah, this gets me going, not coffee. Anyway, back to this little camera here. When you're not accidentally covering it with your finger, it's basically an afterthought. A 48 megapixel module that outputs 12 megapixel files. There are some nice shortcuts letting you kind of touch the fingerprint sensor in the camera app to take a photo. With mediocre performance all around though, it works more as a basic shooter that's more useful for quickly getting a visual copy of your memos rather than something you would like actually want to capture memories with. The food mode is pretty okay here actually, but it just slaps on extra sharpening and yellowness to the photo. With all this weird mishmash of ideas and specifications that almost work, but doesn't quite stick the landing, combined with an eye-gouging price of $900 when this thing came out, it's not surprising that Balmuda quickly stopped production of this device due to low sales and strong criticism. Still though, its DNA does live on in the similarly shaped Unihertz Jelly Max. And hey, the Balmuda phone can be found fairly cheap nowadays in Japan. I got this one for about $100 basically, and at that price, it is a quirky compact phone that certainly has appeal as a collector's item. The Balmuda phone is a fascinating oddity. A toaster company's
ambitious, but rubbish, exactly.
dive into smartphones. Its quirky design, the middling specs, and the cooking-centric software makes it more of a novelty rather than a practical device. especially at the original $900 price. But with used units going for as low as $100 these days, it's a fun collector's piece for those who appreciate the sort of unconventional tech design that it is. While it doesn't quite excel as a daily driver, its bold experimentation, I think, earns it a quirky charm. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time with even more weird tech items.